everyone, welcome back. On today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about why my kids do not date. So back when I was younger, if you didn't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you were not the cool kid. First of all, I was never cool. So what did I do? I left my senses behind and I became someone that I wasn't. That resulted in me doing things that I look back on now and cringe. If I would have just been myself, maybe I wouldn't have had as many friends. I wish I would have been less critical of who I was and more kind to myself. How did I get on this? Because in order to be cool, you had to be in love. It's true, and sadly, it's still true today. What dating showed me was that I should never have dated. Hormones, social pressures, a bad combination. I was always boy crazy.
Ew.
I had my first real kiss at 13.
Gross.
Had fights, cried a lot, got myself into a lot of trouble. I was dishonest. I'm going over to Sally's, Mom. Honest. I was jealous. But what were you just looking at my man? I mean, I know that we're only 14 and all, but
He's mine.
I was a thief. Long story. I was a drama queen.
Hey, like you ready to go out tonight? What do you mean your parents want you home for dinner? What do you mean that you have a test? What about me? You don't love me.
Sound familiar to anyone, or is it just me? What are some of the reasons that I would tell my younger self why I should not date? I got a few reasons for you. Heartbreak, rivalry, desperation, depression, impurity. The list goes on and on and on and on. It just ain't worth it. Only a small percentage of those high school dating couples actually made it to marriage. I, thankfully, was not one of them. And if you are one of those, kudos to you. That's awesome, but for the majority, most high school relationships end up in heartbreak, bad feelings towards that person that can last decades. Who's still best friends with their high school ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend? Any hands? Anyone? Anyone? Sometimes leading to some form of depression. So I know some will say to me,
You're just too old-fashioned.
okay, that's fair. But I tried dating as a teen, along with most of society, and it didn't turn out well. Oh, they're kids, just let them learn. Why wouldn't we use what we endure to keep our kids from going through the same things? To warn them of what we went through, and encourage them not to go down that same path. Or you might say to me,
Well, don't you think dating is good practice?
sure, I'll give you that. It's practice, but I don't want my daughter and sons to be practiced on. No, thank you. Hey, Timmy, hey, make sure that you go get yourself a little girlfriend so you can practice for your wife one day. If you really think about it, all they're doing is just dating someone else's spouse. And to that, my kids said, no, thank you. Our kids learn how to be a good spouse at home, the way mom and dad treat each other. They learn skills, courtesy, kindness, self-sacrifice, endurance, love, all that within the family unit. I'll post a video for what we plan to do instead of dating. If you're interested, in the meantime, just Google the word courting. I may, and my husband may, and my kids may all be old-fashioned, but we are okay with that. There's also a little something I wanted to add. For those of you who are saying, listen, I don't want to be the only ones. You're not. There are more out there with you who have the same view, and it's gonna be okay. This is where faith in God comes in, that He will bring the right person at the right time for our children. Okay, so I have my oldest son, Chase, with us. He's 17, and I'm just gonna ask him some questions. He has not seen these questions. He's just going to give me the best answer you can, okay? Okay. What makes you want to date?
What makes me want to date?
What makes it enticing to you?
Oh, peer pressure. Like maybe you're kind of missing out on something. It's kind of like you want to, with anything else, you want to be a part of something.
Next question. What makes you not want to date?
Well, it wasn't until about this year when I actually cared about being pure and stuff and not dating other people, because when you think about it, you're kissing somebody else's wife or you're kissing somebody else's husband and you're holding their hand. You're stealing somebody else's purity when you're dating, and you rob your future spouse of purity and of being able to give her your first kiss, your first hold of hands, your first love, basically. You give that all away when you date, and that's just not enticing to me. So.
Really good, Chase. Okay. Are you going to allow your children to date?
No. They gotta let the girls even get close to the boy, or even the boys get close to the girls, because especially with not knowing different families and how strict they are, I can be as strict as can be, but if I go let my little Timmy go and date Sandra
Or Brenda.
then I don't know what restrictions they've put on her, or vice versa. If I let my little girl go out with some guy, I don't know what kind of restrictions they put on him. So maybe their family thinks it's okay to kiss and maybe pull her away. My parents said not to. Look, I mean, your friend's doing it. Your closest friend from church is doing it. And, they can get pulled away, especially when they hear it from other youth. It's definitely a lot more enticing to listen to than a parent, unless you're, really close to your child, which is what I want to be.
Why do you think it is such a big deal for high schoolers and middle schoolers to date?
Probably because it's been pushed on them. Okay, it's the cool thing. It's everybody does it, just kind of been watered down. But why not?
That's good. Most of your friends date. So what have you been able to learn through that?
Breakups are messy. Depression happens. Purity is taken. Different things like that. I've recently seen a breakup, and they're going crazy. Man, he's broken my heart so many times, and I'm tired of it, and I feel so lonely, but I'm just gonna get over it. But they never do. It's the same thing over and over, and eventually it causes desperation. Yeah, I'm looking for that.
Yeah.
All right. Eventually they get desperate, and they just start going out with any guy or girl that they come across.
Okay, and last question. When you date, you are really just dating someone else's spouse. How does that affect your thoughts on dating?
Well, think about it this way. What if they did that to you? Imagine, you get married, and you're like, I'm able to give you my first kiss. And so you kiss her, and she's like, I've kissed 5 different men. I've held their hands, and it's just taken away from me. And that would hurt, knowing that all this time I've been pure to give her my first kiss or my first handhold. I'm not the only guy that she's ever loved. And so you have to put yourself in their shoes and know what they're going to be going through if you do decide to date and do decide to give away your first love. And it's just stay away from it.
Isn't he wonderful? Our family is very close, and so a relationship does help. So it's not like when we say kissing and when we say holding hands or being with another person. We actually have that open relationship where we can talk about that. So, just opening up the communication with your kids, then you are able to have a close relationship with them. You're able to talk about things that are harder when they are older. So thank you, JC.
Problem.
Okay, we're back, and this is Jacob. He's 15. This is my middle boy. He just got his learner's license. Just going to be asking him the same questions. He has no idea what the questions are, so it's just going to be stuff that's just right off the top of his head. So, all right, first question. What makes you want to date? What makes it enticing to you? Is it enticing to you?
Not really.
No, you're not. You don't really care about dating right now?
Not really.
Okay, all right. What makes you not want to date then?
I see all of our friends and everything doing it. It's just they get a new girlfriend every week.
Okay. All right. And are you going to allow your children to date?
No.
That was a big no. Why?
Because, if I don't want to do it, I want to let them do it. Just like I said, our friends and everything. So it's
Okay, so that's your big thing. Most of your friends do date. So what have you been able to learn through that?
not to do it.
Why not?
Because it's nasty. You've dated 50 girls in the 5th grade. So it's then you go on to 6th grade and then you do it again.
You do it over and over. Okay. And why do you think it is such a big deal for high schoolers and middle schoolers to date?
It's because it's the cool thing.
Okay. That's exactly what your brother said. With more like peer pressure, like everybody's doing it.
Yeah, like everybody. Like we went to the pool that one time. They kept talking about their girlfriends. So me and Chase were like kind of off to the side.
Yeah, yeah. Last question, and then you can stop this torture. He's doing really good. Okay. What does when you date, you are really just dating someone else's spouse mean to you? I know that one's used a lot here in this family, so.
Like this Joe Smo over there's gonna be marrying the one that like that person dated, so I mean that's kind of nasty.
It doesn't sit well with you?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else to add?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Isn't he wonderful? Good job. Okay, everybody. My princess. This is Ashley. She's in 7th grade. And I'm going to ask you the same questions that I asked your brothers. If you don't have an answer to it, say, I don't really have an answer to that. Okay? All right. What makes you want to date?
I don't really have anything that makes me want to date.
You don't have anything that makes you want to date?
No.
Okay. All right, and that's totally fine. What makes you not want to date?
It's more of like just wasting your time. Nonsense, I guess.
Yeah.
It's better to. The family has to know him just as much as I do.
Oh, okay. So it's important for Mom and Dad and Chase and Jacob to all know, like, if you were to be interested in a boy, it's better for us to all know him just as much as you do. Is that what you're saying? Like, he's friends with the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. Are you going to allow your children to date?
No.
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 Why not?
Like I said, it's no point. It's just nonsense.
Okay. All right. And why do you think it's such a big deal for high schoolers and middle schoolers to date?
If everybody does it, then I guess I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone wants to do it. Everyone just has to do what the other person does.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what your brother said. That's funny. Okay. I don't know if this question pertains to you, so tell me yes or no. Because you do have older friends too, but your friends do date. So what have you been able to learn through that? Or even Chase's friends who date, or Jacob's friends who date. What have you been able to learn through other people dating?
Like I said, that there's really no point because they've been through it and they go boyfriend or girlfriend after girlfriend, boyfriend after boyfriend, and then they just end up just going away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you just put into them, they just went away.
Ooh, that's good. What does, when you date, you are really just dating someone else's spouse mean to you?
That they're not really going to be yours. They're just going to end up just going away and not being with you because, like I said, you go person after person after person. So it's not going to be yours until it's God's plan for you.
That's it, girlie. She did so good, didn't she? Thank you, Ashley. I love you. I love her. It's true what they say, that you raise them right and you're close to them, then they will always be close to you. Like, our family is so close, and we just, when we're apart, we know we're apart. We tried that one time. That was not fun, where she decided that she wanted to go to camp for a week, and I'm like just dying here, and she's dying there, and we're like hundreds of miles apart, and we won't ever do that again.
Never going to camp again.
I didn't just name my channel Seeking Contentment just because it sounded pretty. I named my channel Seeking Contentment because that's what I'm seeking. And I pray that some of the things that I'm sharing with you on this channel will bring contentment to your home. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Until next time.